The rain hammered against the hospital windows as Ethan Parker paced nervously outside the delivery room. His wife, Sophia, had been in labor for nearly 12 hours. Every passing minute felt like a lifetime. "Everything will be fine," Ethan whispered to himself, though fear gripped his heart. Inside the room, doctors and nurses moved frantically. Sophia's pregnancy had been difficult from the beginning. She had suffered complications, and tonight things had suddenly become much worse. A loud alarm echoed through the room. "Her blood pressure is crashing. We're losing her." The words sent chills through everyone present. Outside, Ethan's wealthy parents sat in the waiting area. Unlike Ethan, they had never liked Sophia. They believed their son had married beneath his social status. Sophia came from a poor family and had never been accepted by them. Margaret Parker, Ethan's mother, folded her arms. "This is exactly what I feared," she muttered. Her husband, Richard, nodded coldly. "Let's hope Ethan can move on if the worst happens." Hours later, the delivery room doors finally opened. A doctor stepped out, his face pale. Ethan rushed forward. "How is my wife? Is she okay?" The doctor hesitated. "We did everything we could." Ethan's heart stopped. "I'm sorry. Sophia didn't make it." The world seemed to collapse around him. "No." He staggered backward, unable to breathe. Meanwhile, Margaret exchanged a glance with Richard. Though they tried to hide it, relief flickered across their faces. At last, they thought, the woman they hated was gone. Ethan fell into a chair, tears streaming down his face. "I promised I'd protect her." The doctor lowered his eyes. "There is one more thing." Ethan looked up. "The babies." Before the doctor could finish, another nurse burst through the doors. Her face was filled with shock. "Doctor, you need to come back now." The doctor turned. "What happened?" The nurse could barely contain her excitement. "We found another heartbeat." Everyone froze. "What?" the doctor asked. "We thought it was machine interference. But there's another baby." The doctor rushed inside. Minutes later, stunned doctors gathered around Sophia's motionless body. A tiny newborn cry filled the room. Then another. 2 babies. Twins. The doctors could hardly believe it. The second child had been hidden behind the first during multiple examinations. Both babies were alive, but something even more unbelievable happened. As one twin was placed against Sophia's chest, her finger moved. A nurse gasped. "Did you see that?" Another movement. Then another. "Doctor." The medical team surrounded her bed. A monitor suddenly displayed a weak heartbeat. One beat. Then another. The room exploded into chaos. "She's alive." Outside, Ethan sat devastated, his face buried in his hands. Then the doors flew open again. The same doctor emerged. This time, his expression was completely different. "Ethan." Ethan stood. "What is it?" The doctor struggled to find the words. "Your wife is alive." Silence. Ethan stared. "What?" "She has a pulse." For several seconds, Ethan couldn't process what he'd heard. Then tears poured from his eyes. "She's alive." The doctor nodded. "And Ethan?" "Yes. You have twins." Ethan nearly collapsed. A son. A daughter. And somehow, against all odds, Sophia had survived. He laughed and cried at the same time. The miracle seemed impossible. But not everyone shared his joy. Margaret's face turned white. "What do you mean she's alive?" The doctor frowned. "It's extraordinary, but yes." Richard clenched his jaw. Their plan to push Sophia out of Ethan's life had suddenly failed. Over the following days, Sophia slowly regained consciousness. When she opened her eyes, Ethan was sitting beside her. He immediately grabbed her hand. "Sophia." She blinked weakly. "Ethan." His voice broke. "You came back to me." Sophia smiled faintly. "What happened?" "You gave me the greatest gift imaginable." A nurse wheeled in 2 bassinets. Sophia gasped. The tiny babies slept peacefully. "Our children." Ethan nodded. "Twins." Tears rolled down her cheeks. For the first time in years, she felt truly happy. But trouble was already brewing. Margaret and Richard remained furious. The twins meant Ethan's fortune would eventually pass to Sophia's children. They wanted control of the family empire. And Sophia stood in their way. One evening, Margaret entered Sophia's hospital room. Her smile looked sweet. Her eyes did not. "You've been very lucky." Sophia sensed the hostility immediately. "I suppose so." Margaret leaned closer. "Miracles don't last forever." Then she walked away. Sophia shivered. Weeks later, after returning home, strange incidents began occurring. Important documents disappeared. Household staff suddenly resigned. Rumors spread through the company about Sophia manipulating Ethan. Someone was clearly trying to destroy her reputation. Eventually Ethan discovered the truth. His parents were responsible. He confronted them during a family dinner. "Why are you doing this?" Margaret remained silent. Richard spoke first. "Because she doesn't belong here." Ethan slammed his fist onto the table. "She's my wife. She's an opportunist." "No." His voice echoed through the mansion. "She nearly died bringing my children into this world." Neither parent responded. Ethan stood. "From today forward, anyone who disrespects Sophia disrespects me." Margaret stared at her son. "You'd choose her over your family." Ethan looked directly into her eyes. "She is my family." The room fell silent. Months passed. Sophia focused on raising the twins. The little boy, Noah, inherited Ethan's eyes. The little girl, Lily, looked exactly like Sophia. Their laughter filled the house with warmth. For the first time, Ethan felt complete. One winter evening, however, Sophia discovered a secret. While organizing old files, she found evidence that Richard had been stealing money from the company for years. Millions of dollars. She showed Ethan. He couldn't believe it. When confronted, Richard finally confessed. The scandal threatened to destroy everything. Shareholders demanded answers. The board considered removing Richard permanently. Margaret was devastated. The empire she had spent decades protecting was collapsing. Ironically, the woman she despised became her only hope. Sophia used her financial expertise to stabilize the company. She negotiated with investors. She restored public trust. She saved thousands of jobs. Within months, the company recovered. The board praised her leadership. Even Richard was forced to admit the truth. "You saved us." Sophia simply nodded. "I did it for my family." That answer struck Margaret deeply. Despite all the cruelty she had endured, Sophia still cared about the family. One afternoon Margaret quietly approached Sophia. For the first time, there was no arrogance in her voice. "I owe you an apology." Sophia looked surprised. Margaret's eyes filled with tears. "I judged you from the moment we met." Neither woman spoke for several moments. Then Margaret whispered, "I was wrong." Sophia smiled softly. The years of bitterness finally began to fade. As the twins grew older, they became the center of everyone's lives. Noah loved adventure. Lily loved books. Their grandparents adored them. Even Richard transformed under their influence. One evening, years later, the entire family gathered to celebrate the twins' 8th birthday. The backyard sparkled with lights. Children laughed everywhere. Ethan watched Sophia from across the garden. The woman who had once been declared dead stood surrounded by family, healthy and radiant. Sophia noticed him staring. "What are you thinking about?" she asked. Ethan smiled. "The day I almost lost you." Sophia squeezed his hand. "But you didn't." "No." He looked toward their children. Instead of tragedy, that terrible day had delivered the greatest blessing of his life. 2 beautiful children, a stronger marriage, and a family that had finally learned the value of love. As fireworks lit the night sky, Ethan wrapped his arm around Sophia. Years earlier, doctors had declared her dead. Her in-laws had secretly celebrated. But fate had other plans. One whispered sentence had changed everything forever. "It's twins." And from that miracle came a future none of them could have imagined.